Good morning. Okay, we're on Pasuk Yud, page 42. It's actually a very interesting Pasuk. The Pasuk goes, Beni imi fatuach hataim al tavo, which means, my child, if sinners entice you, do not consent. So now we're on page 42. And now, Shlomo Melech here, we know the wisest of all men, addresses us with the word Beni, which means my son. Right? Notice how he says that. He doesn't begin with a rebuke. Here he's talking about that if sinners entice you, do not come, do not listen to them. He doesn't say stay away from evil, but instead he calls us a child straight away. And this is really a voice of a loving parent guiding us how to go through life. And the Malbim actually explains that when the Torah says Beni, it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself speaking through Shlomo Melech here. And the Shem is not just commanding us, that if people entice you, do not consent. He's playing as like a loving father. That when someone loves you more than anything, says, please do not go down this path, the words penetrate deeper. If a parent goes to a child, please don't go there, I know what's best for you. So that's a very interesting point that he says that he uses the word Beni. Then continuing with the Pasuk says, if sinners try to lure you, the word Yifatuch comes from the word Petah, which is naive, which is easily swayed. Now, temptation, we know, doesn't come with logic or philosophy, right? It just comes with a charm and a smooth talk. When the Yetzer Hara comes over to you, or when the sinner comes over to you, he doesn't say, come, let's go crazy. He says, come, stop being so uptight, pull up once, just one time we'll go to this place, it'll be fun, this, that. The Yetzer Hara never tells you to go right away and do that Avera. That's how, he's not stupid. He knows how to play you. That's what he's saying. The Shlomo says here, he says, if sinners entice you, do not consent, meaning don't even get there. And that's what the Gemara talks about, the concept of Gedarim. If you know you're about to get somewhere, put around yourself fences to not even get to the point to get there. You understand? And that's exactly how the Yetzer Hara, and the Gemara actually talks about this, that the Gemara in Sukkah brings down that today the Yetzer Hara will tell you, do this little Avera, tomorrow do another one, and finally it goes, the Gemara says, and he ends up worshipping idols. Why? Because slowly it goes, he gets you there and there. And that's exactly what's going on today. And if you think about it in the world, the Yetzer Hara today is, the world around us, the social media, all the ads, all these stuff, they're enticing us to think that something is right when something is completely wrong. That it's normal that a man could become a woman, even though it's completely, that's how slowly, in the 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it was not normal to do that. But now it became normal because slowly, that's how Yetzer Hara works. And Rav Dessler actually discusses this. He says that the Yetzer Hara never argues with you head on. He never comes over to you directly. He seduces you. He packages the sin in a beautiful package, and he makes it look like it's freedom or pleasure or just being normal. Because everyone is doing it, so why can't I do it? Everyone is going to this restaurant, why can't I? And Shlomo teaches us that there's a power of saying no, which is al toveh, which means do not consent. It's very short. He just says, don't try to negotiate with him. We don't negotiate with terrorists. The Yetzer Hara is a terrorist. Don't see if you can limit it. No, meaning don't even start the conversation with the Yetzer Hara. Don't take the bait.
What's the difference in the Yetzer Hara and the Satan?
Satan could be a form of the Yetzer Hara. Satan comes to you in the Yetzer Hara and tells you to do the X, Y, and Z. But he never does it. It's a good thing to note. He never comes and tells you do that Avera.
It just entices you.
It entices you to do that Avera, which means he'll come and do different things to package that in a good way. So you might think, it's perfectly fine to do that, when it's completely wrong, because he's packaging it to you to make it more sense, to make it sense to you. So again, why does Shlomo Melech say right away, do not consent? He doesn't even give you tools. He says because once you start rationalizing, once you let the enticer into you, you've already lost your ground. That's what's happening. That's what's happening now in Gaza. You give them a finger to the terrorists, they want a whole hand. You give them a hand, they want your whole body. Right? That's what's going on now. We should not even start negotiating with them, because the second you start, you see what happens. So that's the exact same thing here. And the Chazak also tells, the rabbi tells us, "Ena pachaput la'arayot," which means no one is immune when tested in the wrong place in the wrong time. No matter who you are, there's stories of multiple different people, high people, big rabbanim who they got stuck in a certain place, and they didn't they negotiated with the Yetzer Hara per se, and they ended up, getting to a place where they shouldn't have been, because the second The Torah's advice is not to fight in the moment, that just cut off that temptation by the root. That's the idea. A tree's growing now, but if the foundations is wrong, then the tree's going to grow like this. But if your foundations are right, then the tree will grow like that. The Yetzirah comes to try to make your foundations go like this. So the more you're letting it, plant yourself like this, the more you'll go like this. But you might not think it's normal because everyone is doing it. Everyone around me is doing it, but we're different. And another thing is, like, think of Yosef HaTzaddik. When Potiphar's wife tried to entice him, what did he do? He didn't argue. He didn't reason. He ran. He ran away right away, and he even left his coat and fled. That's the concept of al toved and action. That don't even negotiate at all. Now, when you hear this pasuk, you might think that I don't have the Yetzirah trying to drag me into all these things, but really it's not true, because really if you think about things in your life, you'll realize a Yetzirah could be that you woke up 5 minutes later, like, let me just press the snooze button a little more. That's a Yetzirah. You don't want to go. You don't want to go to shul, or you want to go to a not kosher restaurant, and that's wrong, but all your friends are doing it, so why can't I do it? That's a Yetzirah telling you all your friends are doing it. He's not telling you to go to the not kosher restaurant. He's telling you that all your friends are doing it, so why don't I go also? Right? Or my friends are going to the club, so let me go also with them. Right? It's not go to the club, because he knows you won't go to the club. Right? That's really the idea. There's 3 things here. There's really like the friends and peers, the people who pressure you in school. That could be a concept of Yetzirah. The culture around you and the media around you, the billboards, the ads, the movies, social media. That's all enticing us. That's the pitui that he's talking about, to lower our standards. I think the biggest Yetzirah is the inner weakness within yourself. A person's own Yetzirah, he tells, I'm not worthy enough. I'm not good enough. I messed up yesterday, so let me not do it today. That's the ultimate Yetzirah, because what you did yesterday has nothing to do with you are today.
It always happens.
It always happens.
Like I didn't make Shachar.
I didn't make Shachar yesterday, so why should I go to Mincha? But what does Shachar do? The 2 separate mitzvot. Shachar and Mincha, 2 separate mitzvot. What does Shachar do with Mincha? Another thing is actually, just to bring this a little further.
It's a classic.
It's a classic.
Classic.
We say Modani every morning, right? If you look at the words Modani, we say Modani l'fanecha melecha v'kem shechazarta bi nishmati b'chemla v'emunatecha. It should be, why is it b'chemla rabba emunatecha? It should be emunati. Right? We're talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why are we saying emunatcha? We're saying HaKadosh Baruch Hu's emunah in us. We should say our emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right? We're waking up in the morning, we should say emunati to HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Trust we can do it.
Exactly, because Hashem wakes us up every morning because He believes in us to make this day great. So we're thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu, thank you for bringing me into this world, because you believe in me to make moves today. But that's the idea. We have to actually believe in it to make it work. That's why it's the biggest Yetzirah. The biggest Yetzirah is within ourselves.
It's self-doubt.
It's a self-doubt, right? Especially after,
And anything in life, insecurities,
everything. That's all Yetzirah.
sadness.
I think the biggest problem with people today, especially in this generation, is self-esteem. Why? Because everyone around you is trying to dictate how to live your life. Right? So you'll have the billboard across the street telling you that, I saw a billboard once in Israel and I was so upset. It says, you haven't lived until you lived here. And it showed like an apartment in like Yerushalayim. Like you're dictating how I live my life. And like every day they put like new ads. Like, the people like, oh, I have to buy an apartment there now. I have to buy, that's wrong, because now you think that's what life is. But you might not realize, because the more slowly they feed it into you, you don't realize. Mamdani, for example, that guy, he doesn't understand. If you look at all of his meetings, the guy was never in an actual Mamzerdani. Yeah. All of his things are he's just a TikTok guy, so he follows the trend. So he sets trends. So why can't you set your own trend? Well, you have to be a follower, not a leader, right? Shi'ele rosh v'lo zanav. You want to be that rosh, not that zanav. Right? Especially today. It's very hard today to be a rosh. But you always have to be that rosh no matter who you are. And that's really the Yetzirah is telling you, be that zanav, because it's harder to be a rosh. Understand? It's always hard to be that one guy who's making the move. Who's making that change.
And also the crazy concept about Avera is they say Avera goveret Avera.
Avera, right? That's what Gemara said.
When somebody does an Avera, if you do something an Avera, you see, then right after we do another one.
Another one.
Yeah. But when you do a good thing, then
mitzvah gored mitzvah also.
to show, then you study Torah,
Yeah.
and then you have a good mindset, and then you have to know, okay, I'm a deep Torah.
Exactly.
Or the other one, vice versa. I didn't go to shul, okay, so I'm not either going to do mincha or mincha without me.
Right.
It's
But again, what does that have to do with this? Just because you did something wrong,
yeah, that's
who
what we
cares?
said.
Who cares?
You know what the biggest problem is? Is you're not on the level anymore. You know what I'm
But
saying?
that's Yetzirah. That's exactly.
You can't go for myself. I used to be way more religious a few years back. Now, not at that place.
Okay,
I'm not gonna
but
go
who
back.
cares? Okay, who cares?
I'm
But
just
now
saying,
you're here.
there's
But now
certain
you're
things
here.
Not on that level anymore. It's I just
Not on a level.
I'm not on that
not-
place anymore.
But who said you can't go back to there? Who said you can't go back to there?
I'm gonna give you an example, right?
Not about a mitzvah, but in the.
I'm just saying,
You're saying it's in your head. So
A guy that's learning Torah every single day, right? That's wearing black and white. It's in his nature to go to shul and pray and learn every single. It's in his nature.
No.
That's
Yeah, but
it's
you
in
could-
my nature and your nature to work because that was what we were told since we were kids.
But you
right?
could change
When
tomorrow.
You're gonna go in and work.
I used to be 1,000 times more on point with the show, and I was coming here at 6 a.m. since I have a kid. It changed. It's just an excuse. My friend had the kid at the same time. He didn't stop.
I
It's me.
understand.
I think it's a mindset. I think it's a mindset.
It's in the
And
head.
if you tell yourself that it doesn't matter what I did
It's
yesterday.
a guy that goes, am I gonna carry on Shabbat now?
Okay.
Guy doesn't go to shul 5 times a week. And he's
Okay,
not
yeah,
gonna carry on
but
Shabbat.
each thing is different. You
That's
pick.
what I'm saying. It's like there's certain things that you're not on the level anymore.
I think it's all mindset. It's all in the head. I think
You're
it,
not-
It's not the
Listen, if
news
you're not,
by itself.
if I told you don't carry on Shabbat, you're gonna laugh in my face. You will. Most of the guys would. Like they're not gonna take
I'm
it
not gonna
seriously.
laugh.
Yeah, but most of the guys won't take it seriously, and rightfully so. We're not on that level. So I'm saying, Rob.
I think level is really. I think level is
That's the whole
really.
point of the Yitzhak. That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
It's the whole point of this.
That's what.
The way we do it, it's wrong. We cannot
I'm not
say
saying
we're
it's
right.
right. I'm just.
By the way,
saying
just
we're
because you
right.
did something different doesn't mean you could choose. Averot are not connected. You could do one thing here doesn't mean you don't do that. I could do this. I don't have to do that. You know what I mean?
You're right. That's how
I'm just saying, there's a certain in life, there's a certain level of right. There's the guys that go to shul every morning. There's guys that don't go to shul. That come on certain. When you're in those kind of subcategories, it's very hard to.
It's very hard, but again, that's the mind.
Rabbi, isn't there an idea that Hashem wants different things from you at different stages of your life? You're not always going to be.
Of
you're gonna
course.
have time, you're going to have time when you're learning 24/7, then you're going to have time when you're raising a family.
But not only that, your work could be considered Torah because you're working in order to provide for your family, so you don't have to steal, you don't have to do this. You want to have a good life for your family. I'm being serious. You're working so you can pay tuition instead of sending to public school, right? Tuition's very expensive today. You're working so you can put kosher. You're working so you're working so you can put kosher food on the table. And now we start doing that. Let's continue. Whatever. Rav Chaim Shulem.
I was told, if I made a story about what he just said, there's a story, it's a Musa, especially connected with the Rosh Hashanah Mekifai. There's a guy who cleans up chimney, and he's extremely poor, extremely poor, but a good guy, good midah. He gets hired by the richest guy in the village. He come and clean his chimney and clean the grass. He cleaned every day. And one day, the owner of the house, the rich guy, the guy who cleans the house, is very poor but good midah in the village. The richest guy of the village hires him, and then after a week, after coming back from work, he starts talking to him for 10 seconds. The next day, 20 seconds, and so on and so forth. After a few weeks, few months, so that the guy was he always started talking to him. He was a very good guy, good midah. You get to a point, you should marry my wife, my
daughter.
You're a good midah. So how poor the rich said, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. Here's money to buy new clothes, here's the money to take her out, here's money to go shower, etc., etc. He goes and do that. The daughter also loved him a lot. He loved the daughter, he does, etc. Get to a point, okay, let's get married. Now the whole village gets jealous. They go talk to him, to the owner, to the rich guy, and then the daughter, crazy. She used to the castle, to the gold clothes,
Certain lifestyle,
etc. The guy lives in a hut. What are you doing? It's madness. And don't worry, I don't care. I have all the means. She can still have the life. I'll take care of it. Don't worry. They try until the last day, a day before the wedding. The whole village say, we're going to change the strategy. We're going to go to the chimney guy. Crazy, they're gonna make a fool out of you, you're gonna get married, etc. They're gonna make a fool out of you, you're not gonna be able to handle the pressure, etc., etc., etc. They succeeded. He ran away of the village. So the Musar here is like the Rosh Hashanah. The Yetzirah here is the village. HaKadosh Baruch the Yetzirah, it's the rich guy. And the chimney guy is Ham Yisrael. The Yetzirah tells you, You are who you are. You cannot grow. Like it's like he said. You have standard. You cannot grow. You pray everybody at this level. Like you say, it's easy for you because you're a rabbi. No, because at your level, if you study, for example, 8 hours a day, come to you, I tell you, study 9 hours.
Right.
How are you gonna find this
Extra hours.
I'm just
It's
saying,
hard.
there's
Or
certain
somebody who
levels.
doesn't study, give him 5 minutes. Somebody say 2 hours. So somebody who does this means like grow. The Yitzhak tells us you are who you are. You cannot grow. That's the Yitzhak.
The Yitzhak tells you you're on your level. You can't get any other
the
level.
Yitzhak tells you come.
I'm just very practical. If you're not an engineer, you're not going to become an engineer overnight.
I
because
know,
you want to be an
of course not
engineer.
overnight, but if you want to be an engineer, you can get there.
That's what I'm saying. But again, it's not going to help you reading one article about engineering.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. It's step by step. Judaism is not, all or nothing. You get there. That's the idea. The Rav Chaim Shmuel actually used to say, we'll end off with this, that we know that the enticer, the Yitzhak, doesn't tell you to sin. He sells you the dream. He paints a picture of this ta'ava, this belonging, this release. If I do this, Rav Nachman used to say, you could build up your world. It could take you years to build up your life. It takes you 10 seconds to destroy your whole life. You do one wrong thing with the woman, that 10 seconds of pleasure, you destroyed your whole life. So imagine everything in your life, all these Yitzhak are like that with your life. It takes you forever to build up your life. You did one wrong thing, boom, you're done. Rav Chaim Shulevitz says also, he explains that the Yitzhak tells you, never says, come eat taref with me. He says, come be free, enjoy life, be happy, do all this stuff. And then he wraps off that sin with the illusion of life. And that's why Shlomo Melech gives us such a strong idea here. He says, al toveh, meaning don't even get drawn into the illusion. Don't let your that dream that you think of into your heart. And Bezat Hashem will continue on.
What does that mean?
What does ta'ava